Just to put some context into what our conversation is all about, Papua New Guinea is a growth country. Let me say that from up front to give you some background in this conversation. And if not much has happened in the past, well, certainly moving forward into the future, we will be making leaps and bounds in as far as growth of our country is concerned. And a few historical facts about our country just to contextualize and bring home the message for tonight. Our country remains a very vibrant democracy since 1975. Our vibrancy of our democracy is really anchored in a steady and independent judiciary. Since 1975, we have had 13 transitions of government, 13 changeovers, all peacefully. No transition took place under the barrel of gun, so to speak, as prevalent in many parts of the world, more so nations who are emerging just like ourselves. I have to put this into context because I know a professor from Japan and a few other investors, local investors, and I appreciate you here, as well as foreign investors. If you think, hearing from prophets of dooms about Papua New Guinea, let me say, politicians like me come and go, but the country lives on. We have lived well in the last 47 years amidst our challenges. We have maintained the robustness of our democracy, 13 transitions of government, and an ever-present, stable, functional, independent judiciary. Our economy since 1975 was a 5 billion kina economy. As I stand here today, our economy is a 113 billion kina economy, and evidence of growth from a 5 billion kina economy to a 113 billion kina economy today. Our population density, yes, it's a growing population, but comparatively speaking, compared to land mass, our population density still remains very low. Our land mass is big, we have a huge resource base that still remains very much untapped. And I give you some comparisons. We have 452,860 square kilometers of land. New Zealand has 268,021 square kilometers of land. United Kingdom, and all hail our king, we held him yesterday. United Kingdom has a land mass of 243,610 square kilometers of land. Japan has 377,973 square kilometers of land. Philippines, 300,000 square kilometers of land, with what Minister Marape did indicate, over 400 SEZs. This is the country we are living in, our country, and the conversation on SEZs. With this backdrop, I must also indicate that whilst land is a major issue, we have proven track record. We know how to handle land tenancy and land access. Our support to the mining and oil and gas sector is an indication that in the midst of trial and error, we do arrive at a land tenure system where investors have access to land and landowners receive whatever benefit they are contracted to receive under existing legislation. So our nation has proven track record of dealing with land accessibility, more so in the mining, oil and gas, and of course, in the forestry track. Our nation is also have a record of government supporting investors with incentives. Whilst per se directly on the SEZ front may not be evident thus far, but we've given, for instance, the Lihir mine a 30-year tax holiday. Hello to those interested who agree with me that we are foregoing possible revenue from SEZ. We've already given tax incentives to big companies in the mining and petroleum spaces. So government has a precedent of giving support to investors in our country. But best of all, in my tonight's conversation, Papua New Guinea has access to market, close proximity to market, like not too many nations. And when I returned from Gabon, for instance, Gabon produces from their forestry-focused SEZ exports all the way to China, right across the southern tip of the African continent, right through the Indian Ocean, passing through the Indonesian waters and right through China, much longer distance, and accessing the Asian and Chinese market from afar off. Papua New Guinea's accessibility to market, and let me indicate, USA, the world's first biggest economy, is our strong partner. The economy is a $20 trillion economy. China, the second biggest economy, is at our fingertips. Strong partner, very close partner. A 14 billion kina economy as of last year, going into 20 billion kina for the next 10 years, and they will very soon be a robust, bigger, much bigger economy. Japan, traditional PNG partner. PNG leadership has always had access to the Japanese leadership and support system. The ambassador is present tonight. 10th biggest economy, 5 trillion. We have access to that economy. Germany, half of our country before was Papua New Guinea. The 4th biggest economy. We still have accessibility to the market. Our oil palm, our fish, find its way back to the European market easily. United Kingdom, all hail the king. Our accessibility to the market is there. Close bilateral partner to Papua New Guinea. India, the emerging big superpower in far West Asia. Close big market of 1.4 billion people. Papua New Guinea has very close bilateral relationship with India. The Prime Minister is coming in 2 weeks' time. France, the President is a phone call away from me. Every day we talk. Big economy, big market. Total originates from France. Only away, market accessibility. Italy is a market not accessible to us right now, but part of the European economy. We have access to facilities in Italy, the 8th biggest economy. Canada, a call away. Every time I meet the Prime Minister, I talk about buy my produce, and he tells me, when are you producing to sell to me? South Korea, in 4 weeks' time, I'm going to South Korea, meeting the President. Ranked 13 in the top 20 economy, Australia, our very own closest, 13th biggest economy. Indonesia, 15th biggest economy, a 1 trillion economy, close to us, a walk away, a stone throw away. They need beef, they need oil palm. They told me, produce oil palm, we partner together. Mark my word, in 10 years' time, they will be the 4th biggest economy to face the planet Earth, a robust market next door. What about the Asian economy, Association of Southeast Asian Nations? It's a 3.3 trillion economy, a tiger nation powerhouse right next door to us. Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, close to us, marketplace for us. Despite all these competitive advantages that we have as a country, we have lacked the drive, we have lacked the focus, we have inconsistency in policies, or we rather lack correct national transformational intervention policies and appropriate mechanisms to transform the economic wealth of our country, our God-blessed nation with abundance. We have held ourselves captive to deprivation, and we have remained in this quagmire, a quagmire of non-productivity and lack of production for export, waiting on handouts at all levels. Government, provincial governments, districts, and our people, we have not been producing. Market is available. When we arrived in 2019 as a government, we had a clear policy. Our Take Back PNG conversation was a conversation on growing the economy, period. Nothing more, nothing less. Growing our economy, to make our economy, our country become economically independent was the #1 priority for to be proclaimed politically independent with no economic independence and sustainability is complete redundancy and waste. A nation that is full of resources, yet we depend on handouts, grants, borrowings, is a nation that is not living on a sustainable basis. Our economic independent conversation simply means we must be self-sufficient as a nation, as a people, a nation without debt, a nation with equal employment and business opportunities for all, and our citizens who own land and resources must have enough at individual level and at the family level where they're self-sufficient. My richest Black Christian Nation statement to our nation on May 30, 2019 is not isolated. I repeat, that statement is not isolated from our national vision Grand Chief Sumara handed down in 2010, where he stated, by the time our nation reaches 2050, we must be a middle income earning nation and not remain in the same lower ranked, lower tier nations. It is not good enough for a nation that is blessed with so much abundance, yet we remain throttled at the lower echelon of the nations assessed as performing as far as the economy is concerned. The Grand Chief said by 2050 we must be a middle income nation. I said in 2019, I broke it down into the 3 decades. I said the first decade of the 2020s to bring home the point that we are traveling on the right trajectory. By 2029, our economy must reach a 200 billion Kina economy as a measure towards us marching towards a middle income nation by 2050. Guess what? 4 years on, when I took over from O'Neill, the economy was a 79.6 billion Kina economy. Today, despite 4 of the toughest years using deficit budget as a tool to grow and stimulate the economy, IMF established, World Bank established, ADB established, our central bank established, the economy is a 113 billion Kina economy. That's a growth of 33 billion. Using deficit budget as a tool to transfer wealth to our people, make it happen where it matters most. But that really is unsustainable, I must admit. Much work remains for each and every one of us. Every Papua New Guinean here today, including businesses who are Papua New Guinean registered and addressed in this hall tonight. You and me have much work to do. The rationale of growing an economy as a first step or a precursor in our development priority is simple. Grow the economy, the bigger the pie, we have enough to ensure health, education, road, everything else is addressed. Our population has been growing about 3.5% since 1975. Our economy has been growing rather south of the 3.5%. We've been growing below 3.5. On average, our population continues to grow about 3.5 every year. Growing the economy is important. So whilst we work on program, we start Wafi, Papua, Piniang, Pasca, and other extractive industries. Ladies and gentlemen, an effective anchor of our sustainable economy is a diversified economy with all parts of our country and citizens participating in the functionality of this economy. That is why SEZ policy focus has been a key priority of my government since 2019. And I'm very happy that Minister Manu and Vice Minister Sawong are leading this new department we deliberately set up so that it becomes a one-stop shop to host SEZ and all our foreign direct investors who want to come into our country or who are already in our country for us to diversify, expand, take up residence in SEZ and make it happen. This department will be a one-stop department to facilitate ease of application as well as doing business in our country. And I ask all of us first in Papua New Guinea to be optimistic, to support the course as set by this department in our SEZ conversations so that we unbundle the fullest potential of our economic strength we have in all parts of our country, not just one. Look at New Zealand, for instance, a small economy, small country rather, small size landmass by landmass, small in size by landmass, I beg your pardon, New Zealand. Only 268,021 square kilometer. They today have a GDP size of 250 billion US dollar. Wow. Guess what? 1975, their population was same as us. They are almost same as us. They produce agriculture, they produce fisheries, sustainable forestry, a little bit of mining, more of tourism, and livestock. They're not in oil and gas in a big way. Anything else, they just depend on sustainable, renewable resources, agriculture, tourism, construction, mining, manufacturing, forestry, horticulture, things that we can do in our country. Yet we have been hypnotized, thinking that only oil and gas and mining can give us the boost in our country and maintain economic growth. Bullshit. This is a stereotype lifestyle in our economy. The boom and bust of oil sands is non-sustainable for our economy. We must anchor our economy in areas that is totally sustainable, where everyone, not just one few landowner groups and few provincial government and the national government, but everyone right across the length and breadth of our country are producing. Market is within fingertips. The bilateral relationship we have with 14 of the G20 economies. At fingertip, I have accessibility, your country's leadership, and you have accessibility to markets. Yet we have not been working to the fullest, up to unbundle the fullest potential. The world knows us. Our potential to produce. It is really ourselves in getting our acts together. I was here, for example, in the 2018 APEC meeting when then Prime Minister Hon invited a few of us to sit with the China president. And in the exchange here in this hotel, a good question was put to him, like any good Prime Minister can do, or what a Prime Minister can do. The question was, can you buy all my coffee? You know what the reply was? China is like an ocean. China is like an ocean. It is not me buying your coffee, but it is you producing your coffee. Hello? That is why we have the coffee ministry. Papua New Guinea, your own land. Why can't you produce the coffee that the market ever ready, available? A very important bilateral partner. All our coffee is not enough to flood the Chinese marketplace, Japanese marketplace, Korean marketplace, let alone Australian marketplace. We've just been hypnotized by oil and gas and talk about oil and gas, and we're not moving big time into this sector and these spaces. When I met him again in Bangkok, and in our conversation when he was in China, I spoke to him 3 times. He reminded me of the same, because I asked him of the same. I said, I want to sell to you, and he said, oh, where's your production? We are waiting. We are waiting. When I meet all world leaders, my conversation is on the same lines. I've met UK, the King, I've met the Prime Minister, I've met the Japanese Prime Minister, I've met the French President, I've met the Indonesian President, I've met the Thailand King and Thailand Prime Minister. And if I list all the leaders I've met many of them. My conversation is not just on defense or playing golf, as sports Korea likes to think that I'm playing golf. My conversation is on my producers finding marketplace in the economy. For instance, when I met the US President, both in New York and Washington, my conversation with him was on commerce, trade, manufacturing, SEZ, my publicness working in the US, and not just, again, playing golf or talking about defense and geopolitics. These are peripheral. Core issue right down to the DNA of my soul is about economic advancement of our country. Nice. Talk about economic advancement. You know, he's coming to our country. Unprecedented, he's coming. He's not just coming for geopolitics. Hello? He's not coming for geopolitics. On his entourage is a team of people in the manufacturing sector. They've heard our cry to be now moving towards manufacturing in a big way. No more export of raw products to the marketplace. When they export finished product, they're coming with a team of manufacturers. Are we ready is the big question. Are we ready is the big question. Are we ready in the provinces? Are we ready as a country? Last Friday I was privileged to receive a confirmation of his arrival, and he's coming with a strong business contingent who want to be part of the manufacturing sector of our economy. The Indian Prime Minister also is here, fourth biggest economy. Discussions will be on commerce and trade with the Pacific. All the Pacific Island leaders will be here also. Discussion also again will be on commerce and trade, whilst we talk about climate change and all the other issues affecting us. As I did mention earlier, French President and Indonesian President coming later this year. I'm visiting Korea and China later this year. The market is available. Are we ready? Is rather the question that you and me should be asking today. And so, SEZ will be and must be the focal point in our drive to ensure our economic diversification strategy, including our push towards moving to downstream of resources, is arrived at the very end. And I want to thank all existing companies in our country. All of you are here today. Thank you for your continual presence in our country. You're already here. Partners and move into this space. Key government policies in the downstream sector, key government policies in the SEZ that we will be unraveling and working towards and giving incentives. I want you who are already tax-paying businesses in our country, pick up those incentives, pick up those concessions, and work with us as you also settle or grow or diversify your business in our country. We'll be bringing more businesses through the ministry and department Minister Marape is in charge of. Hopefully together using SEZ, we can make it happen. I want to give assurance, issues like land access, issues like SME support, issues like putting money to assist for state equity in projects that we feel we must support, issues like working on enabling infrastructures. And those of you who were with me in Edebu a few weeks back know, a private sector built a power line, we put in 100 million kina to uplift the power back into Port Moresby. These are indications of our government's commitment to ensure we address the loopholes, the deficiencies to make SEZ work. And let me announce tonight, Minister Marape knows few sites who are ready, especially those who are closest to port, closest to airport, closest to existing power, closest to telecommunication facility. This site will be given push at the very earliest. That includes Central, West Sepik, East Britain, Marape, as well as Manus as a tax-free province, and one or two pioneers in this SEZ like EU and others will be given support. But first thing first, those that are lowest hanging fruit in as far as development is concerned, where enabling infrastructures are closest or available, we will get to work in the first instance. And we have not just been talking, like we support the power uplift back from Edebu right to Central. We put 100 million kina for PMI-JET. No government has put that down. We put money for PMI-JET to make sure all cases of fish in our country are brought back to Medang in the first instance. These are work in progress for us. In the forestry sector, we recently approved a state marketing agency company. We will exercise our right to get 10% of all log produce in our country to go straight into a log pond for marketing and downstream processing. This is all work in progress. Minister Marape, you will have our full support. We'll give you full support in all programs that you have identified. We'll work with you to ensure that SEZ becomes the anchor and impetus and focal point of our economic diversification and strengthening focus we are embarking upon. And I just want to close by asking all provincial governors and all DDAs find a space to work with us in this area. God has given us abundance of land in our provinces and our districts. Let us work together to unbundle the potentials we have and grow our sustainable economy. Someone earlier, possibly Minister Marape, quoted Albert Einstein. The quote goes like this: doing the same thing, expecting different results, really is insanity. We've been doing the same thing for the last how many years, expecting different results. I just want us now to work our forestry, our coffee, our copra, our vanilla, our oil palm, our fisheries, our livestock, sustainable forestry, tourism, all service sectors. Imagine if 1 million family right through the country don't sit and waste time on Facebook and WhatsApps like some specialist think tanks do in WhatsApps and Facebooks. If 1 million family work the land and earn minimum at 10,000 kina a year from agriculture, from your own land, just 10,000 kina. And for coffee, that's about 20 bags of coffee. If one write down Genesis 2 verse 15, before sin, God said, Adam, work your land. Yet today you want your government to come to you, you want your cow to come to you, you want your members to come to you, you want someone else to come to you. Your land sits there doing nothing. On a minimum earning of 10,000 in a year by a million family, together we all would have put back to economy, and for economy, supplying the market, bring it back to economy, 10 billion kin every year. And the compounded aggregated effect of the earning power of people producing will grow economy sustainably going forward. That will be the basis of us making transition to the manufacturing sector of economy that we want. I just want to conclude by saying we have been depending on the boom and most times the bust of the oil and gas and mining sector. Let us now try out other aspects of our economy. I join Minister Marape in offering you SEZ as a hard catalyst and incubator of our economy, so we are stronger, resilient, and sustainable into the future than at our present level. To nation of Christians, and I conclude again, God tasked us to work. And I quoted Genesis 2 verse 15, go and read in your own time. That quotation came before sin in Genesis 3. If you do not work, don't pray for miracle. If you work, then pray for miracle. God will add to the blessings that He has already given to you. I want to thank all of you for coming by. God bless each and every one of you. And may God bless those who want to work. God will continue to bless Minister Marape, Vice Minister Hon, and your team. May you continue this path to grow our country's economy, to sustain our country now, but more importantly, for the future of our country, our economy, and our children. The Marape Government stands with the Department of International Trade, Minister Marape, Vice Minister Hon, and the entire team, Secretary Jacinta, and all our government agencies, from Chief Secretary down, to work to ensure we achieve the goal and task that we've set out through SEZ to unbundle PNG's fullest economic potential. Thank you all who've come to make presentations for the next 2 days. I really appreciate each and every one of you for coming by. May God bless you too as you share your experience and impart your knowledge to us. May God continue to bless Papua New Guinea.